Trail FX allows you to create mesmerizing trails effortlessly without any knowledge of Blender's geometry nodes. In this video, I'll cover how to set up Trail FX and how to use it. Once you purchase the pack, you will receive this zip file. I extract it. You can place the extracted folder anywhere you prefer on your PC. This folder contains all the assets related files. For this demo, I keep the folder on my desktop. Now in Blender, I go to Edit, Preferences, File Path, and here in the Assets Libraries section, I click this plus icon and locate the extracted folder and add it as a new assets library. You can rename it to anything you like. I call it Trail FX V2. I close the Preferences window. Make a new window from the side and change it to Assets Browser. Now from here you can select the assets library we added. And just like that, you have access to the entire library of Trail FX. I have currently opened this Blender project with this knight. I am in Eevee and using Filmic for this demonstration. You can use AGX or any settings you prefer. I also have this sword which is not attached to the hand. So first thing should be attaching it to the hand or knight's armature. Go to the first frame. I already have the sword in the right place. In Object Constraint, I add Child of Constraint. Select the armature. I can attach it to the knight right hand bone, but in this armature I have a bone called sword joint, which I am going to use to attach the sword. Select the sword. In the constraint, search for sword and select that sword joint bone. Hit set inverse. Now you can see sword is attached to the hand. There are so many effects in Trail FX. In this video, I show you how to set up a trail blade effect, which will cover all the basics you need to know to use Trail FX. So under Blade Effects, FX Type, I select Trail Blade and drag and drop it into Scene. I hit Alt G and Alt R to reset the location and rotation. I recommend doing it to eliminate any confusions you might face. Now in the Trail Blade object, in the Modifiers tab, you can see the Trail Blade effect, which at the moment does nothing. We need to declare this trail reference. Trail reference is another object that tells the effect the basic shape and movement of the object that we want to have a trail. In this case, this sword. So to make one, I select the sword, go to edit mode and select this edge of the blade. Shift D to duplicate and P to separate it into a new object. I rename it to sword reference. In edit mode, you can see we have 3 vertices. There's a big gap between first and second one, so I subdivide that edge a few times to add more vertices to help keep an even gap between vertices. This is not necessary but will help you to reduce any stretching in the trail UV surface. Now back in the trail blade, select the reference object we made. Hit play and you can see we have a trail. Let's look at some of these parameters. Max age determines how long the trail will last once it's spawned. Lower values give you a shorter trail. Subdivisions smooth out the trail. Another important thing you should remember is face normals. If you turn on overlays and this face orientation option, it shows you the face orientations, front side and back side of faces. We want the primary side of the trail to be in blue color. That's important to get the right look in shading. Right now it is red, so I check this flip normals. I'll get back to these flip UVs later. Some of the blade materials have moving effects, and this speed parameter controls their speed. Let's take a look at displacement, a new feature in the latest version. It's very straightforward. You can simply enable it and play with its parameters to add some displacement to the trail to eliminate that flat look. In the materials section, you can change the glow color and strength. In the latest update, I added a default gradient to all these materials. If you disable these use glow colors, you can see the trail has this fire gradient. You can change its color from this hue slider. In the latest Blender 4.2, they have eliminated the bloom feature. So you can't really see the glow of these trails in the viewport by default. So I open up a new window here and change it to compositor. Enable use nodes, and I have already set up these nodes to add some bloom to the render. To see it, first I make sure I am in the render mode and enable this camera or always option. I select always and increase this factor amount to get a nice glow to our trails. Let's see some other materials that comes with Trail FX. So we are using the Trail Blade effect. I can find the materials compatible with it under Materials Blade. Here I have 30 materials that are compatible with Trail Blade effect. To demonstrate the capabilities of these materials, I choose the number 17 material. Drag and drop it to the trail or this material slot. This will add the material to this object material slot. To apply it, you have to select it from here. Immediately, our trail effect got updated, and just like before, you can change the parameters to fit your desired look. You can see this material has some refraction to it. If you notice, the effect is slightly different from its icon. This glowing edge is on the inside edge of the trail, not on the outside edge like in the icon. You can keep this look if you want, but I check these flip UVs to get a similar look to the icon. With Trail FX, you are not just limited to changing the color and glow of the materials. To change unique parameters to these materials, first I disable the displacement so you can see it clearly. Then go to Materials tab. Select the material we are working with. Go to bottom of the settings and expand this Custom Properties section. And here you will have so many different parameters to play with. Right now, trail is being created in every frame. So to limit it to a certain part of the animation, I go to the frame where I want the trail to start, enable the record button and make a keyframe for run simulation. Go to the frame before and disable it. Then go to the frame I want the trail to stop emitting, make a keyframe there and go to the next frame and disable the run simulation. I extend the animation length. Jump to the first frame to refresh the simulation. Play it and you can see the trail starts and ends where you want. I also like to animate the max age. I think it gives a better look to the effect. So right around here I make a keyframe. Go back a few frames after the trail stops emitting and reduce it to a lower number. I set it to 5. And just like that, you can play with different materials to get different looking trail blade effects. In the next videos, I'll show you how to use some of these other effects. I just covered all the basics you need to know to start using Trail FX. Before you hit render, make sure to bake the simulation. So I select the range where I have the trail effect. With trail blade object selected, go to Physics tab, Simulation Nodes and hit Bake. This will bake the simulation. So you can render it without any issues. By the way, these materials work with both Eevee and cycles. That's the quick introduction to using Trail FX. If you have any questions, comment them below. Thanks for watching.